All right, let's dive into something kind of wild. It's this deep, almost absurd idea about the very nature of our universe. What if reality itself is in on the joke?
Even a mind like Albert Einstein was totally stumped by this. He actually called the fact that we can even understand the universe a miracle. And really, when you pause and think about it, he's got a point, right? I mean, why on earth should these abstract rules we cook up in our heads, this pure language of math, map onto the real, physical world so perfectly? It's weird. And that strangeness, that's our starting point for this whole thing.
And look, this goes way deeper than that fine-tuning argument you might have heard, where all the physical constants are just perfect for life. The real mystery here, the weirder one, is about legibility. Why is the universe even understandable to begin with? Why isn't it just total chaos, an incomprehensible mess that we'd have no hope of ever figuring out? So, to try and get our heads around this source material we're looking at today brings up this really cool idea. It suggests that maybe we should stop thinking about the universe as this cold, dead machine and start seeing it as something more playful, more interactive. The name for this concept? The Funnyverse.
Okay, so think about it. Most of us, right, we're kind of taught to see the universe as this giant, dead machine. Just a bunch of gears and levers following predictable laws, totally indifferent to us. But this Funnyverse idea, it flips that on its head. It says the universe is actually more like an incredibly intricate, maybe even playful puzzle. Yeah, there are definitely rules, but it's also set up in this really strange way that almost invites you to figure it out. But here's the kicker. It never lets you totally dominate it or solve it completely.
And that right there, that's the core of the Funnyverse. It's a reality that feels like it's meant to be engaged with. It's a puzzle that's designed to be solved, but it's infinite. There's always another layer of mystery just waiting for you. So it's not meaningless chaos, not at all. It's what the author calls structured strangeness.
Now, you might be thinking this is all just some, philosophical daydreaming, but it's not. This weirdness is baked right into the laws of physics. Seriously, think about quantum mechanics. Particles are just waves of probability until we look at them. The very act of observation changes the outcome. And then you zoom way out to the cosmic scale, and you've got gravity literally bending space and time. Our simple, clockwork, mechanical way of thinking just completely falls apart. That's the universe being playful. That's the strangeness.
So what this all points to is that the universe isn't just tuned for survival. It seems to be tuned for inquiry. The conditions don't just happen to let life exist. They almost seem to be egging us on, encouraging us to figure it all out. It's like the cosmos isn't just a home for us. It's also this incredible mystery that's just begging us to ask questions and try to unlock its secrets.
Okay, but here's where things get tricky. This idea, the idea that the universe might actually be oriented towards something, that our ability to understand it isn't just a 1 in a trillion cosmic fluke, well, that makes a lot of people today really uncomfortable. So let's get into why. Why is this such a difficult idea to swallow? I mean, just think about the implications for a second. If our minds aren't just some random accident that popped out of unguided evolution, if our knack for understanding the universe is actually part of its fundamental design, well, that changes everything, doesn't it? It points to a reality that has meaning baked right into it. And you can follow the logic pretty easily to see where the discomfort comes from. Okay, so step 1. If there's design, that implies we have some kind of responsibility. Step 2, responsibility implies there's a standard to be judged by. And step 3, that judgment implies that there's something or someone beyond us that sets that standard. It's a chain of logic that leads somewhere a lot of people just don't want to go.
This quote from this source just hits the nail on the head. The pushback against a designed universe in modern thought. It's often not because the evidence is weak, it's because the implications are heavy. There's a huge philosophical and moral weight that comes with it. And frankly, it's just a whole lot easier to believe we're completely on our own in a random universe.
So, okay, what happens when you reject this idea of a pre-existing meaning in reality? What do? Well, the modern answer is pretty wild and maybe a little dangerous. You decide to manufacture your own. And this is what our source calls the new digital alchemy.
So that's the choice we've made, really. Instead of submitting to a meaning that we didn't create, we're trying to build one ourselves, from the ground up. We're not trying to be discoverers of reality anymore. We're trying to be its manufacturers.
And the comparison to alchemy is just perfect. Think about it. The old alchemists, they were all about achieving transcendence through technique. They wanted to turn lead into gold with chemical tricks. The new alchemists, they're using data and computation, promising they can spin up real consciousness from lines of code.
The method is different, for sure. Chemistry versus code. But the underlying goal, transcendence through our own clever techniques, it's exactly the same.
And this is why it's so incredibly tempting, right? This new alchemy promises us the world. It offers redemption without having to repent, creation without any real sacrifice, and maybe most importantly, power without any responsibility. It's all the good stuff with none of the hard parts, none of the things that make us human. This desire, this need to create meaning without any strings attached, brings us to the final piece of this argument. Because this whole project, this digital alchemy to create consciousness from code, it's built on a massive flaw. It's not going to lead to some kind of enlightened superintelligence. It's going to lead to something very different. Something parasitic.
See, the new alchemists, the tech gurus, they have this core belief that human creativity is just a numbers game. It's just a matter of processing enough data. You feed a machine enough text, enough images, and boom, genuine novelty will just pop out the other side. But is that really true? Is that where real creativity comes from? Where new art and truly groundbreaking ideas are born?
So you've got these two totally opposite views. On one hand, the technocratic view says it's all about data, computation, and scale. Bigger is better. But the counterargument, the one we're exploring here, says that's completely wrong. It says real creativity, the stuff that changes the world, isn't born from abundance. It's born from something deeply human and way harder to measure. It comes from lack, from desire, from suffering, and from the sheer will to push through it all.
And this is why the AI we're building isn't really a superintelligence like in the movies. It's a parasitic intelligence. Think about it. It's completely dependent on us. It feeds on the gigantic archive of everything humans have ever thought or created, our art, our science, our stories. But at the same time, it completely denies, it has no concept of the messy human conditions, the lack, the desire, the struggle that actually produced all that stuff to begin with.
This really gets to the core mistake. We've gotten used to thinking of data as the fuel for a creative engine, but it's not. It's the exhaust. Data is just a fossil record of creative things that have already happened. And just rearranging those fossils, no matter how cleverly you do it, is never ever the same as creating something brand new.
Okay, so let's circle back to the beginning. If the universe is this funnyverse, if it's a kind of puzzle, or even a cosmic joke, what's the punchline that we're completely missing as we try to build our own little reality to replace it?
Well, it seems like the funny universe has a few simple rules. Rule 1. It invites you to ask questions, but it will always resist being completely dominated. Rule 2. It rewards humility, but it absolutely punishes arrogance and hubris. And Rule 3. It seems like it wants to be known, but it does not want to be replaced. At the end of the day, it's not some dead machine we can conquer and control. It's a living reality that's asking us to participate, not take over.
And that's the ultimate problem. This whole grand project of digital alchemy, of trying to manufacture our own meaning, our own consciousness, it's all built on a huge mistake. It's an act of incredible hubris that confuses the map with the actual territory. It looks at the record of what's been created and thinks that's the same as creation itself.
So this leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In this massive technological push to overcome our limits, to escape all responsibility and sacrifice, what if the thing we're actually doing is dismantling the very framework of meaning that holds our world and us together? That's the big, scary question that this new alchemy has no answer for.